That's what the disclaimer says for anybody that can't read that and are just enjoying this in the audio. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There needs to be room for a little bit of, like, Chipotle came out with this. They're going to come out with drive-through lanes, and they're calling them Chipotle lanes. And my brother said, why aren't they calling it Chipotle way? The South Park joke, like takeaway.
Yeah.
And my other brother said, well, that would be patent infringement because South Park came up with the name Chipotle way. And he goes, no, it's a different industry. Chipotle way was a stain remover, and this would be a takeaway service. They're not to be confused. One was to remove the staining in your underpants after eating Chipotle, and the other is simply a drive-through lane. We have to just be, that's a trademark issue. It's not even patent. We have to have room to just live our lives. I think Nintendo's overstretching here.
I hope that they get slapped hard. Like, as much as I'm excited about
Is there anything
Switch
that can happen to them? Is there any downside to them?
That's one of the things that when, like, if we're having an honest conversation about it, I don't think so. They maybe they don't win and they just, okay, we spent that money in legal fees. They've got plenty of money sitting around.
And they come out with another Pokemon game, which is identical. And they continue to take their Pokemon games and put out the same game over and over and never innovate and get mad when anybody else innovates in the space.
Right. And then take them to court. Or the theory that I have is that as a potential, like, because we tend to see these kind of things settle, that they just kind of want a cut so they could, they could make a payday. Their lawyers get paid. I do wonder, though, because the Pal World devs, Pocket Bear, did tweet out kind of like, guys, really sorry. Development's going to actually have to slow down because we're going to have to also focus in on this lawsuit. And so, like, if nothing else, like, is this a move that they know they won't win because of the fact that they only got the patent years? Like, this was, like, okay, you only did it once there was an actual competitor. Like that people were really excited about and fans of, I
think they waited.
Do they want to just try to slow down?
Had enough money, there was something to take.
Well, they got enough money the day one. Like, it was 2 million players concurrent, and that's not counting the Game Pass stuff. And as a game for early access, that 2 million easily represents, I think they even tweeted it out, like, they sold somewhere along the lines of 22 million units. They've got money now, especially, So yes, maybe they were waiting.
I hope that it cost $22 million internally to change balls into boxes, and Nintendo can kick rocks.
I really hope
let's
Nintendo
move on to the next
rocks.
story because we've got a bunch of stuff happening this week.
Yeah.
Blizzard. Yes. Blizzard let go of like a lot. Like, it's letting go of a lot of people.
It's like every month it's like, and another round. Did you also see?
So the receipts are claiming, I don't know if these have been adjusted in their dates, but they're claiming that these were layoffs that were already planned prior to the acquisition.
That's the word.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not that was just Bobby writing, promise that my dickish behavior will continue on a Post-it note and slapping it on a wall, or if this is actually something, and acquisitions tend to result in layoffs, but like, when you divide it across all of Xbox, they're like, oh, it's only 3%. But when you target that 3% at a specific studio and it's 2,500 people, and you say, okay, but 800 of them are going to come from this one group, who all does that hit? Like, typically the way this is hit is this has gotten rid of like the BlizzCon team. This has damaged the cinematic teams. This has damaged the storytelling teams. And it has utterly decimated QA. That's
QA is
when we that tends to, at least it feels like to me, I'm not a management guy, but it feels like to me, that's what always seems to get slashed in these big studios.